All right. I want to welcome everyone for listening in. Hey, I'm Brian with KIEZ 106.7 FM. And man, today is like, now, yesterday was Father's Day, but today truly feels like Father's Day because I'm able to engage with some representatives from the city of Monroe. I got Taylor Smith, and then I have the elegant Ellen Hill. Now, Miss Hill this is not her first rodeo. She's been around for a while. She was an actual a agent of change at the city of Monroe, making laws, getting things in order for a future. And now she's in a department called PUD, PUD. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go to Taylor first, and I'm gonna come back to you, Miss Hill, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Taylor, good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Doing great, Brian. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. Anytime I'm above ground, if it's not a good day, I'm gonna make it a better day. Taylor, tell us, what do you do over there at the city of Monroe?
So I am a project coordinator. I'm the project coordinator for the JP Morgan Chase grant that we got, and I'm over the Home in Monroe program. So the Home in Monroe program was developed to increase homeownership rates within the city of Monroe, as well as decrease the blight in our disinvested communities and disinvested neighborhoods throughout our community. So it's kind of a two-part program. We have local developers we're working with to build new, safe, and affordable housing within the city limits of Monroe, something that we haven't seen in a long time, especially the affordable part. You can go on the north side of Monroe, but if you don't have $300,000, you're not going to get anything. So we're trying to build, $100,000 to $150,000 homes that are safe and affordable within these areas, such as Renwick and Booker T and Cotton Mills, that just haven't seen investment for a long time. So we're working with local developers on one side, and on the other side, we're working with potential homeowners that want to work towards homeownership. So we partnered with an entity out of Baton Rouge called Mid-City Redevelopment Alliance. They provide HUD certified housing counseling as well as financial coaching. And we also have a credit repair company called Rent Accelerator that we're working with that can assist you in building your credit. They're able to report all on-time rental payments to the credit bureaus. And you got to imagine that's your biggest expense throughout the month. And that's the one thing that doesn't get reported to the credit bureaus. We've had a couple people sign up for that portion of our program. One lady in particular saw her credit score increase 60 points
Oh, man.
just by reporting her, rental payments to the credit bureaus. So it's a lot. I mean, there's a lot. We have a lot of moving pieces with this program. But like I said, at the end of the day, our goal is to build new, safe, affordable housing within the city limits of Monroe and, help people purchase their first home.
Well, thank you there, Taylor. I appreciate it. Man, you dropped so much on us here. We're going to come back and break that down to smaller pieces because you're exactly right. It's a lot of moving pieces. But I'm glad that it's moving and that it's just not at we're not at an impasse, that something and activities are actually taking place. Because you mentioned some words about blight. We've heard of that. You mentioned something I like to hear all the time, affordable, and also associated with home ownership. So we're going to come back to you. And it's a team effort. So we're going to come to the leader of the team and allow her to introduce herself. Because as I said, I've seen her sit at the city council several times, actually on the proactively participating, boots on the ground, making changes. So Ms. Hill, thank you for joining us. And please introduce yourself and tell us, what is PUD versus what we've heard so often, HUD.
Okay, well, thank you, Brian. Good to be here. So, PUD is simply planning and urban development. We're one of the many departments here at the city, but our department is challenged with working on business growth, revitalization, and then also housing. And for us, all of those things go into a thriving community. And it's my pleasure to have the opportunity to work every day on the many projects we have with making our city more livable and a place for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about a home in Monroe, we want everyone to have a home in Monroe. Whether you're an essential worker, we now know about essential workers, right?
We
Those
do.
folks who work in our grocery stores, the people who, deliver our packages. Those are all key fellow residents in our city, and they also need a safe place to call home. And
Mhm.
so, with that, we have been working, as Taylor mentioned, on our Home in Monroe program. But it's also the idea is that we can look at investment in our older parts of our community. We have investment going on every day. One of the many things I get to do every day is see the fact that Monroe does have investment going on.
Mhm.
A part of our planning and urban development is our inspection division, where everyone comes to get a permit to get building started. So we know that there's building going on, but our idea is that we want to see building going on in our older communities as well. And of course, it needs to be affordable. We all want to own a part of the American dream, which is home ownership. You know,
Exactly.
it is
Exactly.
how people build wealth in this country. And so we recognize that that's key in our city. And so, we've sought out partners. A local partner is Mount Pleasant CDC. Mount Pleasant has done affordable housing development, but it's been primarily for rental development. Well,
Mhm.
we see this as our next step, in our community. There's been rental development. Now it's time to really develop affordable housing for people to purchase. And that allows us to have investment in our community. So
And
we're excited. We're very pleased to have, great partners both locally and then of course out of Baton Rouge. And this wouldn't be possible without Chase Philanthropy, coming in and making the investment with us.
okay, hey, I mean a total partnership. Now you mentioned the name of the program. Taylor has mentioned it. You've mentioned it. I want to make sure we understand it clear. It's called Home in Monroe. Is that correct?
Right. Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
Now, because every time I hear the word home ownership, I think of, as you said, the American dream. This is where retirement, wealth is built. Then I did a little bit of research. My understanding for every home that's built, it's really considered job creation because it can actually generate up to 300 jobs over a period of time. So
Absolutely.
it's multifaceted dealing with this thing called home in Monroe. So what is the big vision? What is the plan? How many homes in Monroe?
Well, we'd like to see, every vacant lot with a home
Okay.
for folks to buy. But where we started out in our program is, we said we would work over a 2 to 3 year period with up to 75 families. And our
Wow.
goal would, we would love to see 75 families get that key and turn that doorknob and says, I'm home. And it's their piece of the pie somewhere in Monroe, right? So that's where we're starting. But we know that it's a start. It's
Hmm.
not where we
Hmm.
want to end up, but it's a start. So I'm going to put the stake out there and say, we want to see 75 families own their home in Monroe.
Wow, that is a true American dream there. Now, as we talk about home ownership, the home in Monroe, tell me, I don't know who wants to take this, Taylor or Mrs. Hill. What is this thing called home in Monroe? Is it a program or you just identify so many individuals, they automatically get a free home? Tell me a little bit more about the program.
Okay, wait. So I can jump in there. There's no such thing as a free home.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
So, the idea behind Home in Monroe is it's really a partnership between us and those families that say they want to own a home in Monroe.
Hmm.
Our first step is, of course, financial stability. So that's where we have a partnership for home ownership training, but also financial coaching. You
Mm.
know, um, we all sometimes think we want to own a home, but get scared when we think of what all that might be. And so, our goal is to not just tell you, hey, we want you to buy a home, but we want to figure out what type of home, what can you afford, and then how to make sure that when you do get those keys, you get to keep them, right? We
Hmm.
also need to make sure that you are financially prepared for that next phase in your life. So our program, I like to think of it as a program
Hmm.
because the idea is that you're going to come in and build a relationship with us and build a relationship with our partners um, in order to, move along to home ownership and then, becoming a better member of our community wherever you decide to have your home. So let's consider it a program. It's a program that the idea is to really embrace, you know, people who want to make that investment in Monroe, just like I have. And hopefully, one day Taylor will too as a young person. We want to make our community vibrant for our younger residents
That's right.
as a place for home
Hmm.
and a place to make that investment. Um, as well. And something you said that was interesting, which is housing is also an economic development driver.
Hmm.
It is an economic development tool as well. And so another part of this Taylor mentioned is we're working with developers, and the idea is that we want to have young entrepreneurs that want to invest in our community. And so another part of the program is helping those developers gather the tools and finances necessary to make that investment. So it truly is hopefully something that's really a complete program in Monroe, that we won't just have a few houses being built, but that once we start this engine, it will keep on going, right? It will keep on chugging away and help our city not only stabilize, but, grow.
That's right. That's right. I like that idea. Talking about the wheel, make sure it just keeps spinning and spinning. Taylor, I got a question for you, but I'm gonna come back to you. But Mrs. Hill mentioned something about developers, and I want to talk about that wheel. It just keeps spinning and spinning. But one of the spokes in the wheel, you mentioned about developers. Now, in the past, Mrs. Hill, we've seen where tragedy or things that have happened in the community, and these developers come from out of town, pulling all the resources. Now, tell me about these developers. Are you going outside the town, outside the city, outside the state to bring in developers?
Oh no, when we talk about developers, and Taylor can tell you a little bit more because these are all folks he's gotten to know over the last year. These are
Okay.
all local. We specifically designed the program that we said we're looking for local developers. We're looking for people who want to see our community grow and see it for a long term. And so we have people who are planning on becoming developers as they retire.
Mm.
We have a teacher in the program who is partnering with her son to develop a program. We have local business folks who are in other industries who
Yeah,
look to transition to becoming affordable housing developers. We recognize that if we're going to build our community, we have to build it, right? So we need to start with investment from here. So we're talking about building our local capacity, something that when we looked around and we considered, who would want to build, yeah, we could probably do like some other communities, shop around, get a builder to come in and build 200 affordable
mm,
houses. And then we spend the next few years trying to sell them. But why do that?
mm.
That doesn't build Monroe. So a home in Monroe it's a play on words for many things. We want you to consider it your home for your business. So those local developers are having a business here. We have people owning homes. So it's a home for many things.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're looking forward to having a vibrant community because investors are here investing in their own community.
Keep it local. I like that. I like to play on word. Home in Monroe, the
Yeah,
wheel, recirculating the dollar in the community,
bingo.
people buying local, using developers local. And they tell me, Taylor, that you're one of the key pieces, as you say, the moving pieces to oversee this. So tell us a little bit more about the home in Monroe. But you mentioned also earlier, I want you to touch on this about credit. Tell us a little bit about this credit program.
Okay, so one of our partner programs, partner entities, is called Rent Accelerator. So Rent Accelerator is a company that is able to report your on-time rental payments to the credit bureaus. Like I hinted on earlier, usually our biggest expense every month is going to be our rent. But as I stated, that's the one thing that doesn't get reported to the credit bureaus. Rent Accelerator has, you link them to your landlord. And they verify, your residence, verify that you live there, and they can go back up to 24 months and pull your rental history and report all of those on-time payments to the credit bureaus to assist you in raising your credit score. And then building on top of what Ellen said, we wanted to partner with local developers, and we understand that some local developers, have experience and some don't. We understand that some are used to going in a house and saying, okay, we know it needs a roof, it needs plumbing, it needs a kitchen, it needs this, and others can look at it and be like, I have nowhere to start. I don't know what to do. So that's we have a partner with Mid-City, with Sam Sanders. He's acting as a development expert to guide and assist our developers, through that process, through that understanding. We want this, like Ellen said, to be a long-term thing. We don't want it to be where they build one house and that's it. We want it to be, okay, we got one house built. What's the next plan? What's the next? Are you building 2 more? Are you building 3 more? And we want to, have a keep the wheel moving, keep the
That's
wheel
right.
moving on both sides, as we continue to bring on more people on the homeownership side, working towards homeownership. We want to continue moving forward with our developers. Okay, they built their first house. Okay, what's the next step? Are they building 2 more? Can we link this potential homeowner with this developer based off where they're interested in moving into? There's a lot of potential in growth in this program. COVID definitely threw us a curveball, and
All
we
of us.
kind of had to reassess some things and reassess how we would help people. But the tornado also threw us a curveball, but it's also given us an opportunity to kind of touch base with, engage different people in the community, and reassess where we're at and what our goal for this program is. And like I said, I think homeownership in Monroe, because of the tornado, because of the devastation we saw, and the amount of renters that suffered damage, the renter to homeowner ratio is astronomical in this community.
Right.
We need homeownership. We need homeowners that have homeowners insurance. So when a disaster like that happens, they can rely on that homeowners insurance to cover, their expenses, rather than just hopefully their landlord fixes the issues that arise, and or they have to find a new place to live, and that's the situation some people are facing. So we want to avoid that. We want it to be where you have your home, you have your stuff, and if something happens, homeowners insurance is covered. It's there for you to help you.
Yeah, economic growth. This is not strange, but this is very interesting. See, the city is being so proactive in really developing their own community. Normally, you will see private industry, but the city is taking a major first step in implementing, and so it can be very positively impacted in the community. Now, I'm a homeowner in the city of Monroe. Tell me about people that are not homeowners. How can they actually sign up for the program?
So this Friday and Saturday, we'll be hosting information sessions at the Public Safety Center. That's the fire department right there off Highway 165. Because of COVID, we are limited to 25 people per session. I've created an Eventbrite registration that I can share with you. All you have to do is go online and just download a ticket, register for a ticket, and come and hear about the program, hear about what we want to do. We want you to hear first about what's expected of you, because it's not just us. If you want to own a home, you have to put in work. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do on your side, towards getting financially ready to purchase a home, and understanding what comes with owning your own home, whether it's, repairs on your home, whether it's just general upkeep, general maintenance. There's a lot that entails. I mean, you can speak for yourself what comes with home ownership. So we want someone, if they're going to register for our program, to truly understand what they're getting themselves into before they just say, hey, I want to own a home, let me sign up. So we will be having information sessions on Friday at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 4 p.m., and we'll have another one at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Like I said, it's 25 people per session. We do have about 42 registration slots left. So I'll send you that link and we can get the word out.
Okay, sounds good. Is there a cost or a fee?
No cost, and there's no cost for our program at all. If you sign up through our program, like Ellen stated, thanks to the generous gift of JP Morgan Chase, all of the costs associated with our program are covered. If you do want to sign up for Rent Accelerator, there is a $5 a month fee, but that's cut down. It's generally $10 a month, and there's a registration fee that's waived, and that's a $140 registration fee that's waived completely. So for our housing counseling and our financial coaching through our partnership with Mid-C, all of that is covered through the program. So at the end of the day, I mean, pretty much everything's taken care of. You just got to be willing to put in that work and put in the effort on your end to work towards homeownership.
Hey, I like that. Sounds good. Thank you, Taylor. I appreciate that. Very knowledgeable and very engaging. Mrs. Hill, we're going to come back to you. And Taylor's a sharp young man. We appreciate you recruiting him.
It's been a joy to have, we have several young people in the office, and I say young people just because, anyone younger than me, I call them a young person, But having the commitment to do this is important to us, and we're a group of people who have to have like minds to be able to work the Saturdays or work the afternoons. But more importantly, we're committed to community engagement and community development. You know, uh, in the beginning, you talked about, what's the bigger picture. So we've been working with this idea that, we get funds from HUD every year, but we don't get enough. So finding partners like JP Morgan Chase Foundation is important to us, and looking for opportunities for, local development. So I'll tell you, my dream is to look out in our neighborhoods and find all the things that make a neighborhood, the place you want to come home to, right? And so we're looking to not just say home ownership, but we want to, look at what's there to do recreation wise. Post COVID, well, not post COVID, but now in the COVID world, we have to think about health. Are we doing things to encourage people to be healthy? Are we providing them with access? So, we are looking at that bigger picture of how we look at community revitalization as a whole, and then making sure it's sustained. So we have to develop our capacity. So, this is just our first foray into, beginning the process. And we're looking for partner families. Really, it's going to be a partnership to rebuild our neighborhoods. And it's going to be the families that come, but it's also going to be those developers building quality homes that people want. And so we know that this is a process, but it's a journey, but it's an exciting one. And just to let you know, we've sort of been on this journey. I've been in this job for about 2 years, and it's taken 2 years for us to gather the partners, gather the resources. But now we know that we have people like-minded who are interested in investing. And I was challenged when I took this position by the mayor to say, do something. And we think we're doing what our community needs, and we're just excited and looking forward to doing even more.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, I want to thank the both of you for taking time out of your busy schedules today, especially while you're running the city during some of these challenging times. And we really appreciate it. And before we go, Taylor, is there anything else you want to share with the people that are listening?
just feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in working towards homeownership.
Well, tell us how. How do we reach out to you?
You can shoot me an email. It's taylor.smith@ci.monroe.la.us, or you can call my office. It's 318-329-4953. Sorry, I'm still getting used to these numbers. I'm from Georgia, and I'm not used to these 318 numbers. But if you have any questions, any concerns, want to know more, feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, I'm going to send you that registration link so you can share it with anyone. And come and hear more. It's like she said, it's a journey. It's a process. We understand that some people might be ready in 6 months. We understand that it might take 2 years, 3 years for some people to become ready to purchase a home. But as long as you're moving forward, that's all that matters. It's all about taking that first step to moving forward. And I truly believe that we can work together and transform these neighborhoods and ultimately transform the city and transform the mindset. I think that's the biggest issue we faced is just this mindset of the South Side being dangerous, or the South Side, not being livable. And it's not the case. We have families living and thriving on the South Side. So we want to make sure that we continue to grow that presence of families that are living and thriving in Monroe.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And Mrs. Hill, we're going to give you the last word.
Well, Brian, thank you so much. I just want to encourage everyone to think of a home in Monroe as our program. And when I say that, it's all of us in Monroe. We have to own our city and our future. And, together we're truly better. And, we definitely know that this is possible. So frontline workers, if you're in law enforcement, EMTs, you're in the healthcare field, we have so many people who work all their lives and don't realize that they can make this investment as well. And we want to encourage everyone to learn about it. At a minimum, you can decide this not might be for me right now, but it might be you 6 months from now. And so the process has to start somewhere. And we want to encourage everyone to come, mothers, bring your young people with you, young college grads. We want to keep you here in town. Please think of investing. And we're just looking forward to doing the best we can to support our families and to have a vibrant city that we know we are.
That's right. And that we know we are. And that's what it's all about. Hey, we're talking to Taylor Smith and the elegant Mrs. Ellen Hill, and also the city of Monroe hiring the best so they can actually reach out to us. And the program is called Home in Monroe. So reach out to Taylor, and also I'll send the link out so everyone can sign up for it. But other than that, hey, I thank the two of you today.
Thank you so much, Brian.